All right, now someone sent me this Ask Her Snowy, and they are moving to the city relatively soon, and they're living over in the Brewery District, which is a hot up and coming area of downtown Tacoma. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. This person said that they are living in the Tacoma Town Center. Actually, I know someone else who recently got an apartment at the Tacoma Town Center. But this person states that they got an apartment at the Tacoma Town Center. They have not actually moved here just yet, but they're going to in the next few weeks. And they wanted to know if Tacoma has a grocery store downtown. They had heard that it does, and then they heard that it doesn't. And they wanted me to clarify. Well, that's a good question. I used to say and used to even complain. I did a video that I didn't even post, uploaded it, but I didn't post it because I was so frustrated. To answer your question, we have one in the Stadium District. And once the Tacoma Link or the T line gets extended up into Hilltop, it will make it a whole lot easier. Because if you're over there in the Brewery District, you can walk down to the 25th Street station. I don't know if that's closer to you or not. And then you're able to, or whatever, and you're able to actually go into Hilltop, or actually into Stadium from there, and then you're able to go to the Thriftway grocery store. And the reason why I'm a little bit miffed about grocery store companies is because Gig Harbor, which is a town of about 10,000 people, has a cluster of grocery stores all within 2,500 feet, less than 2,500 feet. They have a Safeway, they have a Fred Meyer, which is a bit kind of like a Walmart, but it has grocery as well. They have Olive and Grape, which is this hoity-toity type place. They're getting a Town and Country, which is a hoity-toity type of place. And they also got, it was more recent. Let me think, hold on. And the reason why it is so annoying is because they have Harbor Greens, which is a hoity-toity grocery store kind of close into that area as well. What's the other one? They have a few others. Some of them are kind of spread out, but the ones I mentioned are really all clustered in the same area. Oh, Met Market. You'll never get a Met Market downtown Tacoma. And it annoyed me because you have all of these stores right there in that little cluster. And we're talking mainly just a couple of 100 feet from each other. Yet downtown Tacoma has over 8,000 units being constructed, and we don't have a grocery store directly in downtown, right? And so I have asked some of these grocery stores, and really you don't get a good answer. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of these hoity-toity stores, they don't like the demographics of downtown Tacoma, or Tacoma in general, in my opinion. Especially when you're looking at downtown Tacoma. Met Market is here, but they're definitely not in downtown. And I don't mean to sound mean, but it's the facts. These grocery stores have a certain view, and you're more likely to see them in Point Ruston before you will see them in downtown. Even though a lot of the wealth and power is right there in downtown, these places still are back in 1995. So with that said, those aren't stores that I support, right? I look at it like this. I don't go where I'm kind of tolerated. I go where I'm celebrated. And to be honest with you, Thriftway has been in Tacoma for quite some time. I don't know when they opened that grocery store there, but downtown Tacoma is big enough to definitely have a grocery store. It has reached that capacity at some point, like way before now. There was one that closed, but there was many reasons as to why it closed. And I think that hopefully in the future there will be some smaller format grocery store that will go in downtown. There's something called Green Zebra down in Portland. I had asked them to bring a store up here because they're basically a convenience store, but they offer fresh vegetables and fruit. The problem is with downtown Tacoma, you don't have fresh fruits and vegetables at all. You do have a lot of little small convenience stores, but they sell basic stuff and they sell things that you would find at a convenience store. So you may find an onion or a pepper or something like that, but you're not going to find a full grocery store. And so it really is a food desert down there. When you look at the Dome District and that big area, you look at all of downtown, Hilltop, it is a food desert. And demographics do play a big role into it, to be honest with you. Even though there are people downtown paying $3,500 a month in rent, that doesn't matter, right? Tacoma has a nasty reputation that won't go away for some people, especially businesses that are ran by people who, I'll leave it at that. So with that said, Thriftway is in Stadium, as I mentioned. And one of the reasons why a grocery store is important, especially for daytime workers and for all of the folks, is because of the deli. The deli is the big piece of this puzzle because it is a hot and cold type of deli situation. People are able to grab something really quick. And even though technically some people would argue, well, it's still in Stadium and that's kind of hoity-toity. I get it. But at least it's closer than being kind of far away and far out. In terms of putting something like a Fred Meyer downtown, it's not going to happen because Fred Meyer is just so big. I don't see that ever coming to downtown. So to defend them, I don't see that ever happening. And then Safeway, they're not too far from downtown. They already have a store that's somewhat close, but it's not close enough for daytime workers. But because it's within a good distance of downtown, I don't see them putting another one downtown anytime soon. It just would be counterproductive. But so that's a defense of them. Some of these others, it's a different story. But with that said, I do think that over time, hopefully there will be someone that will fill that void and actually put a grocery store down there because there are so many different companies that are basing their operations out of downtown Tacoma. We just recently got Columbia Bank merged with, I can't say the other name of the bank. I don't know how to say it, Impukwa, whatever. And so their holdings will be headquartered here in Tacoma. Their banking operations will be headquartered in Portland. Tote Maritime is downtown. They have 250 employees roughly. They moved from Federal Way, I believe, to Tacoma. Or maybe they moved from Kent. I can't remember. GSA, which is General Services, I believe, Administration. They are a federal government entity, and they basically control all of the land lease operations, things like that, for government contractors, Social Security, the White House, everything. And so they are in different states because you have federal employees, obviously, in all the states in different areas. And so they were also, I think, in Federal Way. They moved their headquarters to Tacoma. Will be early next year. And they're bringing in, I forget, 350 employees. And so what that will do is basically add several hundred people who are now based right in downtown Tacoma. And so the need for having a downtown grocery grows. But thank you, Sound Transit. This is one where I will give you some congratulations. Once Sound Transit does actually open up the Hilltop extension next year, I think it's May of 2022, you'll be able to take the Link Light Rail all the way to Stadium, and then you're able to go and get your grocery on, right? The good thing is that even with people who work at UW-T, for example, you have a lot of staff there too. That's the other thing. You have a lot of staff, students, you have a lot of residents that live down there. Not only do you have a bunch of companies and all of that, but you have a very active residential population that lives in that area of several thousands of people, much more than Gig Harbor. Gig Harbor, I think, has less than 10,000 people total. Downtown has about that, if not more. And you also have the student population that's there during the day, and they want something quick and affordable and variety and that type of thing. So going to, and getting groceries. So that would be the easy way, whether you live in the Brewery District, whether you live in the Dome District, whether you live downtown, whether you live in Hilltop, you'll be able to actually go to Stadium Thriftway. And so a big shout out to Stadium Thriftway because they actually believe enough in downtown-ish. They believe enough in downtown to actually have a store there, and it's been there for quite some time, as I mentioned. And they do have a deli, hot and cold. They do have a full-scale grocery store. So you're able to get whatever items that you actually need by going there. So that's a bonus. Now, one of the things that I think that would be great and would help balance things out even more, because I get that question all the time if there's a grocery store downtown, and we just don't. Even though Olympia is smaller, they have a grocery store downtown. We really don't. We have a lot of convenience stores where you can get toilet paper if you need to, or you can get other things, soap, everything you can think of. But it's going to be a little bit more pricier because it's a convenience store. But if we had some sort of a food hall, HALL, it's basically where you have a building, you have several different restaurants in it. I've mentioned it before. If we had something like that will open up the quick serve options for people to eat, and that is needed desperately downtown. It's not so much that we have restaurants, that's cool, but if you're working during the day and you're quickly trying to get to where you got to go, those places take forever that we have now to actually get served. So something like this would be better. Now, hopefully we're chipping away at that slowly. I don't know if we're ever going to get a food hall downtown, doubt it. I don't know if we're ever going to get a grocery store directly downtown or some sort of a deli. I think that it's mainly just the logistics. I think a deli is definitely possible on its own. I think that's likely to happen also. But as far as having, something else that comes in place of that, like a food hall or something like that, it's a dream. And I think it would be great and it would do well. It would literally add some vitality to downtown. But I just don't know if that's ever going to happen. We don't have developers here that are on that wavelength. You see it in other cities all over the place. You even see it up in Seattle. Someone mentioned that the Seattle Center has one as well. But you just don't really see that here. That's not what their focus is. It's mainly on apartments. But we'll see. Apartments with a little tiny bit of retail, about the size of the man cave, is what you typically see. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That hopefully answers your question. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.